Pokemon Horizons Episode 88 just solidified this series as one of the greatest and most well-written Pokemon projects ever created. This was the climax of the entire story thus far, our heroes versus Gibeon and Zygarde with the whole world on the line, and it utterly blew me away in every manner possible. It was unbelievably good. So let me tell you what happened and then everything I admired about it. The episode began with the residents of Kamuri Town and the Rising Voltacklers worriedly watching the Laqueum Chaos at the top of the mountain. And do you remember that emergency button that Friede teased half a year ago in the airship? Well, Orla is hovering over it now, ready to smash the button. Man, I can picture it already. The airship going full throttle, full power, blasting off to the top of the mountain, to the top of Laqua, and then heroically arriving just in the nick of time, just at the last moment, saving everyone. That would be mwah, perfect, man. It's so cool that the writers set it up and remembered it, you know? Meanwhile, in the Laqua Paradise, the explorers are continuing to activate the Laqueum core, while Terapagos continues gathering energy and power from the 6 hero Pokemon, trying to gather enough to deactivate the Laqueum. This is a really good setup, man. Knocking out Friede's Pokemon and then making the 6 heroes and the other explorers have their own duties. What an awesome way to make sure the main battle is fully focused on Liko, Roydot and Amethio versus Gibeon and Zygarde. The big boss battle then begins with our heroes firing attack after attack at Zygarde, but Zygarde effortlessly dodges them all. Even when our heroes create openings and try super effective moves, Gibeon just easily counters every single time, with either Land's Wrath or Core Enforcer. And man, I love that this episode isn't messing around with how overpowered Zygarde can be. It really is so cool seeing Zygarde easily dominating a 1v4 battle against Pokemon that we know are really powerful. It's also funny seeing Zygarde using the Core Enforcer move, because that's the move that Bonnie and Squishy used to murder Lysander in the X and Y anime. But hey, no need to worry, our heroes and their Pokemon survived it. Gibeon tells them that it doesn't matter that they outnumber him, because he'll cut down anyone who defies him, and Dot suggests attacking from the sky since Zygarde is mostly rock and ground based moves. Royce Crocalor gives it a shot, but boom, 1,000 arrows attack from Zygarde says nope. Zygarde really is a menace on both land and in air. After Amethio and Ceruledge charge in alone and get in trouble, Floragato has to save them with her yo-yo. And I really loved that moment, dude. It reminds me of how Amethio and Ceruledge saved Liko and Sprigatito from Rayquaza's attack earlier on in the show, and now Liko has returned the favour, showing how much she's grown. Liko then reminds Amethio that they're a team now. They should battle as a team, not independently, and Amethio nods and agrees and says he'll try his best. Man, that was a great moment. It feels so right and realistic that Amethio, a character who has always been a bit of a lone wolf, he wouldn't immediately fit in with being a team. It'll take him a little bit of time, you know, he'll need reminding. I love that the writers remembered that. Dot, being the brain box of the team, realizes that after Zygarde uses the 1,000 arrows attack, it needs a few seconds to gather its cells again, where it's seemingly unable to attack. But when they try this strategy, you know, procking Zygarde to use 1,000 arrows and then attacking afterwards, Gibeon then shocks everyone by effortlessly commanding a new move, 1,000 waves, while Zygarde is recharging. Zygarde immediately transforms into like a Zygarde cell tornado, man, it's so fire, and it hits all of our heroes really hard. And that means Gibeon's Zygarde has all 4 of Zygarde's signature moves. That's pretty cool, dude. Gibeon is then about to finish the job with Core Enforcer, but Amethio and Ceruledge save everyone with Phantom Force, teleporting them all into the sky above Zygarde. All of their Pokemon are on the same wavelength, so they all use the momentum from falling to land their first attacks of the battle, hitting Zygarde really hard. And then while our heroes celebrate their teamwork, Gibeon on the other hand is fuming. He's so mad, saying they failed by even taking any damage from our heroes. He clearly does not think very highly of them at all. Our heroes then keep trying to make openings for each other, but Zygarde just counters them every time. And now Gibeon has had enough, he wants it to end right here, right now. So he allows Zygarde to tank some attacks, and then Zygarde unleashes a devastating Land's Wrath attack. That knocks out all 4 of our heroes' Pokemon, ending their terrestrialization too. Uh-oh, our heroes are in trouble. Well, that's what I would say if it wasn't for the fact that somehow Floragato pushes through being knocked out, and she stays standing, dude. Gibeon angrily declares that with this one final move, he will destroy Liko and Floragato, and Terapagos and everyone else that stands in his way too. So Zygarde unleashes a huge Core Enforcer, but Liko and Floragato aren't ready to give up, so they try and counter it with Magical Leaf. Gibeon strikes the villain pose as the Laqueum is nearly fully activated, and Spinel is looking smug too, thinking and they've won. But Liko screams out to Floragato to not give up. And then she realizes Floragato is protecting everyone. All of that is on Floragato's shoulders. And she wants to be there side by side with Floragato. She wants to protect everyone with Floragato. Man, this moment was special. So Liko begins dashing forwards. And I'm not gonna lie, dude, at first I thought she was gonna go and yank Gibeon's life support tube out of the back of his head. But instead, in reality, she reaches Floragato and she stands by Floragato's side, helping her protect everyone. All of our heroes begin cheering for Liko and Floragato, trying to empower them to keep going. And as a result, Floragato screams out in passion and begins evolving, dude. I'm so excited. Her evolution process even resembles a flower, and that's so beautiful. Floragato becomes a Meowscarada finally, and she overpowers Zygarde's attack, saving everyone from annihilation. She looks so cool, dude. They absolutely nailed it. Everyone, heroes and villains alike, are completely shocked by this evolution, and man, this moment was executed perfectly. I think it's probably a top 3 evolution ever in the entire Pokemon anime. It really was that good, and Liko is so ecstatic and proud, and this fuels Amethio and Ceruledge to manage to stand up too. Amethio tells Liko that Ceruledge doesn't have the strength or the energy to win this battle, but he knows he can create an opening for Liko to get it done. He entrusts Liko with that responsibility. And man, can I just say, I'm so glad the whole final showdown is focused on Liko and Amethio. It's like the two descendants of Lucius and Gibeon righting the wrongs of their ancestors 100 years later. The writing really is incredible, it makes me so happy. Gibeon and Zygarde unleash one final big core enforcer, but Ceruledge manages to hold it back with Bitter Blade. Then Meowscarada begins hitting Zygarde over and over with acrobatics, and then at the perfect moment she uses her brand new flower trick attack. Meowscarada distracts Zygarde, and then a huge flower bomb falls down from the sky, landing on Zygarde and exploding with unfathomable power. Zygarde falls to the ground, dude, and Meowscarada falls too. But somehow even that isn't enough, because Zygarde easily rises up once again. I really don't know how our heroes are possibly going to manage this, dude. I mean, even after all of that, even after all of those attacks, Zygarde is still... Oh, wait, what? Huh? Zygarde stops battling, and he nods in approval at Liko? No way, dude. Gibeon begins yelling at Zygarde, shocked, but then Zygarde vanishes into millions of Zygarde cells. Gibeon is utterly horrified, reaching out, begging Zygarde to stay by his side. It's surprisingly quite emotional, dude. And then Lucius steps forward and tells Gibeon that Zygarde approved of Liko and her friends, and that Gibeon has lost. But Gibeon is devastated, shouting out in confusion about how he could have possibly lost to these children. He begins clutching his head, screaming out, losing his mind. He really can't believe he's been foiled by Lucius's bloodline yet again. He doesn't understand what's wrong with him, why he's not as special or worthy of winning as Lucius and Liko are. And dude, this scene was incredible. It's really not just like any other villain defeat. This one really feels like it has layers, you know? It's not as easy as just celebrating, yeah, the villain's gone. In a weird way, I kind of felt sorry for Gibeon in this scene. I'll explain more later in the video. Lucius then has a big hero speech moment where he tells Gibeon that our heroes won because of their bonds with their Pokemon. Their bonds are so powerful that they have no limit. It can bring about miracles, you know? But Gibeon just refuses to accept that that could somehow overpower everything he has, everything he's been working towards. And I really like that Lucius is the one getting the moment here to explain it all to Gibeon. Lucius and his relationship with Pokemon are like at the core of this story, you know? Amethio agrees with Lucius, telling his grandfather the same thing. And then Lucius says that maybe the reason Zygarde chose to fight alongside Gibeon, maybe that was to try and teach Gibeon that the bond between humans and Pokemon are all that matters. That could have been why Zygarde stayed by Gibeon's side and battled alongside him. Gibeon then looks at Zygarde's Pokeball, clearly deep in thought, reflecting on everything. And dude, I have a ridiculous amount to say about Gibeon and Zygarde, but I'm going to say it at the end of the video, so stick around for that. And then in this moment, Spinel's entire expression changes. He's angry and frustrated looking at Gibeon. It feels like he's had it with serving this old man. He's had enough. He begins to see Gibeon as a failure and weak. But before Spinel can act or do anything, Terapagos has finally gathered all of its power from the 6 heroes. Terapagos raises the 6 hero Pokemon to the sky alongside it, and it transforms into its stellar form, finally. And the episode ends with Terapagos beginning to deactivate and erase the Luck Wheel. Overall, this episode was incredible. I don't even know where to start, man. I guess I'll kick things off with Gibeon himself. This was seemingly Gibeon's final episode as the main villain, since Spinel will probably be taken over from now on. And can I just say, Gibeon ended up being such a brilliant character. He kept up such a stoic and composed and all-powerful appearance for the whole of Horizons. But now, in this episode, we finally got to see what's underneath that veneer. All along, Gibeon has just been a devastated, struggling old man, you know? From his perspective, he's been betrayed by every ally he's ever had. Lucius and Ristal, his son-in-law Crave, his grandson Amethio, and now his partner Zygarde. Gibeon is broken, desperately clutching onto the Laquium as the only thing he has, the only thing that can save him from death. It's honestly heartbreaking and devastating, man. It's no wonder why he lost his mind when Zygarde betrayed him here. He realised that once again he has no one, and if he loses here, he'll die from old age. That's really deep writing for a really deep villain. In a weird way, I feel sorry for him. Obviously he's in the wrong, but he's kind of like a tragic villain, you know? You can kind of understand his motives, even if you don't agree with him. You can see how he got to the point where he is, how everything feels from his perspective. Yeah, Gibeon is the villain, but I don't think he's truly 100% inherently evil. I think he's just a broken man who's been on the wrong path for way too long. What a character, dude. 10 out of 10. At first I wasn't keen on the idea of Zygarde joining Gibeon again just to betray him again, but now it makes complete sense. Zygarde has never been on Gibeon's side fully. All along, Zygarde hoped that by sticking by Gibeon, by showing him the friendship and bond they could have together, that maybe that would make Gibeon realise there's a different path forwards. Zygarde wanted to teach Gibeon this, but sadly Gibeon just didn't realise in time until it was too late. I also loved Amethio's role in the episode, learning how to battle as part of a team, and he really seemed deep in thought when Lucius preached about the possibilities in life that people and Pokemon bring about. To me, this feels like Amethio truly realised that he has been on the wrong side all along. He and Ceruledge have been wasting their possibilities. But now that they're free from all of that, they have infinite possibilities ahead. Once again, a clear sign of how much thought the writers are putting into the characters. Meowscarada's evolution was one of the best in the whole anime too. I really loved Liko's characterization in this episode, and now the next episode appears to be the rise of Spinel as the new main villain. I'm so excited to see what happens, man. I have a feeling it's about to get real dark real quick. Overall, this episode really was one of the best episodes in the whole Pokemon anime. Pokemon Horizons truly has turned out to be one of the best things I ever could have hoped for. And for me, I really think this episode solidified Horizons in my top 3 Pokemon animes ever. And considering that's battling against the nostalgia that the older shows give me, that is a really impressive ranking that I never thought would happen ever again. I thought my top 3 would remain the same forever, dude. Man, I love Pokemon Horizons. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on the episode below and like and subscribe if you enjoyed the review. That would really help me out, dude. Consider joining our Discord server and consider becoming a channel member too. That really helps me out a lot, and you get some awesome benefits as well. You can do both of those things using the links in the description. Thanks a ton to my current channel members like Dalpals, Toten, Shiny Charm, Justicadia, Jay, Blazing Shots, Not Mini. You guys are the best and I really appreciate it. Thank you. And on that note, thank you all so much for watching, and best wishes until we meet again!